Daniel, let's start with the inward blocks. Kind of get an idea of terminology, and I'm going to kind of periodically use terminology which I would like to see you get involved in. Am I in camera?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just doing because you would like to. Okay? All right? Now, when we talk about inwards or outward blocks, whether it's be inward or whatever, or upwards, what are we talking about? What are we referring to? And why do we differ than some of the other systems that I have oftentimes watched them where their terminology changes with each type of motion? When we say inward block, what does it mean? Anybody?
The guy's sticking his arm out, he's going to box it.
Okay, but it's an inward block though. Boy, is for what? When we say inward, it means that your arm, no matter what happens, blocks from the outside in. And regardless of the fact of what your opponent throws, whether it's a right hand or a left hand, that inward block that you're blocking from outside in can be still utilized whether it be on the inside of his arm or on the outside of his arm. And some systems say, hey, when that punch comes and I block on the inside, it's an inward block because I'm blocking on the inside of his arm, and when he shoots a left and I use the same identical block on the outside of it, it's an outside block. That's kind of confusing to go inward and outward with the same type of block in the matter of executing. So anytime I say inwards, it means that that arm comes from outside of your body structure and in and toward it. Okay? All right, down your horse. All right, we're going to cock, and block. And again, I'm going to touch on some simple subjects, which many of you have already heard me say, but it's good to kind of examine some of these things. Okay, starting with the right arm, taking it in 2 steps. 1, 2. A left hand now. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, question. Relax. I'm a boxer. Come in. I notice one of you instructing my children. And I noticed that you're having my child cock his arm before he blocks it. I, having experience as a boxer, say, hey, what are you trying to do to my kid? By the time I shoot a left jab in and out, and he takes the time to cock, he'll be flat on the floor. What is your answer?
Walk before you run.
Walk power to the hand.
You're going to have sacrifice power and block with the face? What is your answer?
This is discover the source of the power before you can smooth it out.
Okay, fine. Let's go back again. Some of you have heard it from me in the past. I'll go and reiterate the darn thing. When we learn English, you know, when I went to Kamehameha School, which is one of the schools back there, they wouldn't let us speak our language. We used to get demerits for speaking. And you know, later on, when they try to force the language back on, I said it was too late. But in the speaking of any language, we learn language through the use of syllables. Isn't that right? At least that's the way I learned it, to speak the English language. Maybe you guys didn't. Maybe in Arkansas it's different. Right? But what are syllables? When you break words down in syllables, what's the term that we associate with them? Phonetics. Right? It wasn't cat and rat that we learned, was it? It was cat, cat, rat, rat, bat, hat, mat, hat. That's the way we learn to speak the language in our infant stages of its use. But later years, do we speak to each other phonetically? Do I speak to you that way all the time? No, we don't. That's the way to speak in Scotland. This guy can't understand them. Alright, so what are we doing now? So when a parent ever asks you, why are you teaching my kid to come up and then block, I shoot a left hand in, you say, when you learn to speak the language, did you not learn it phonetically? Yes. What I'm doing now to your child is teaching him the phonetics of motion. He's learning the cat, at, rat, at, bat, of motion. But as he develops the power derived from an idealistic position and gets to feel what the power is like then that same residue stream of power should also become apparent if he has to shoot right from the hip. So later on, hey, what does that power feel like? And can I get that same power from the hip? Well, if he practices enough, he can. But you see now, have we gone through the phonetics? No. And most of your Korean styles, what are they doing when they kick? They're still in phonetics of motion. The damn fools haven't gotten out of it yet. I'm not saying they're not good kickers, but they can be awful much better to get away from phonetics. Okay. All right, now, once again, starting with the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, fine. Fine. Facing me. Facing me. Using it in. Put it back. Lift it back. Okay. When you're using an inward, should you use an inward with the elbow looking from profile and the hand almost on the same level? Or should you have it like this? Why?
Gets greater leverage.
That allows you greater room for what?
Error.
Error. That's right. Margin for error. Okay, so now if you think a guy's going to slip high and he slips low, when you got that elbow anchored, you got greater margin for error. So get out of the habit of doing this. Only time you do this is after you come off the hills for 2 weeks. Then that be over. Okay, then that's fine. Okay, use that to help you. Alright, so therefore, when you block, make sure you block so that this and this are different levels, whereby from here to here, that allows you greater room or margin for error. Okay? Alright, now let's go to the upward blocks now. Let's see what it looks like. Please, bear with me, because I know most of you high belts, and I'm going over simple stuff. But even in simplicity is sophistication, isn't it? All right, let's see your upward blocks. 1. Let's go by the numbers. Back again. Just like we went 1, 2, right? Let's see what the numbers are. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, now, relax a little bit. We're going to have a cardboard or something similar to it. Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, sorry. Okay, if I had a piece of cardboard and I could stick it in front of you, so that the top of the cardboard was right at the level of the eyebrows. Okay? You would not have a cardboard that separated your body in half. I want you to think of coming up the middle of this cardboard like you're shooting an uppercut. And just as you make the clearing, go to left field with your hand. So it's 1, 2, okay? So it's up the middle and off to the side, okay? All right, 1, 2. Okay, now, even after you go to left field, I don't want this arm cutting your head off. In other words, I want that arm to frame your face, okay, somewhat, so that I can see your beautiful face. Some of you guys are covering. Okay, Ma loved it when she brought you into the world. She didn't. All right. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, left hand. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, relax a little bit. Now we're going to talk about the terms opposite and reverse. Tell me the difference. Tell me the difference. Yin yang? You've been throwing that yin yang to me all the time, you know?
Opposite one side, reverse the other.
Opposite is just what is opposite, reverse is motion, change in motion.
Car is a car now. An automobile is an automobile.
Opposite and reverse.
You ask him or you tell him? Who's asking the question? It's not fair to ask me back. You think I don't know the answer? I know the answer. All right, now let's talk about this, all right? Down again now. This time, I want us to do the outward blocks, vertical outwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. By the numbers, okay? Starting with the right arm, that's the one on this side. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, relax. Okay? As we do the outwards and as we do the upwards, involved in those simplistic moves is sophistication. Sophistication in the terms of the use of the double factor concept. When I say double factor concept to you, what the hell am I talking about? Could you tell me?
Striking a hit.
Almost there, Robert.
You hit it, you block at the same time. You want to cross.
Exactly.
You hit the face, you block the arm.
Okay. Right, Albert? Outward. Okay. There's an outward, correct? Now, if I shut the right hand, one would think that he should use a left outward, right? Left outward, left outward. Okay? Now, a right outward is this. A left outward is the opposite of that. Okay, that's the opposite. Opposite side. Okay? What is reverse?
You're right.
Let me tell you, one day I got Polynesian paralysis. You know what that is? Okay? I was watching films as I used to train in Hawaii, and I used to switch the reels all the time. I didn't put the reverse switch on. Too lazy to change the reels. Then when I saw me on the screen in reverse, then I got a slanted forehead like most pull-ups have. No offense. You know why people have slanted foreheads? When you ask them a question and they don't know it, you give them the answer. Same thing happened to me. I finally discovered what reverse motion included and how it was beneficial to us in the art. And with that in mind, I'm going to show you how to use opposites and how to use reverses so that they are compatible to each other. Okay? You got it now? No. Now here's outward, right? Now, what is the reverse to this left outward? Right? As the other hand came up, right? So now he just blocks with the right. Prior to him blocking with the left, if he goes in the reverse of what he was, does it not pick up the arm momentarily before the major block comes out? Does this not pick it up before that comes out? So it's a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. There's your double factor. There's where you're using reverse motion in conjunction with the opposite motion. You understand me? Makes sense, doesn't it? Okay, thank you. So now, with that in mind, let's go back to the upward blocks by the numbers. Starting with the right arm. 1, 2, 3, 4. He didn't do it. You didn't do it. If you went 1, 2, before you come up to this, what is the reverse of that? Down, right? Could you not come up this block momentarily before you pick up the other shot? Using the double factor. So when you come up, you reverse before you opposite it. See it? Yeah, it's simple. It's so simple. Yeah? It's like the guy, the most beautiful wife, looking at the ugly one. You know, some of them need alcohol. 2 cases.
Get down.
But it's always looking for something else, right? And it's in front of us all the time. And that's all I want to do. No offense to any of the lovely women that are here. Okay. All right? Now, with that in mind, just as simple as what I just told you, I want you now to start picking up on reverse motion and seeing how it could be included into your repertoire of motion. Gee, it's a big word, huh? Okay, I just kind of remember they belong to reservoir. We have a few in Hawaii. And utilize it to your best advantage. Right? Right, right foot forward. How many of you know a technique we call the back ring? Where actually punch is coming from the flank and we double parry, go behind. How many of you have that? Remember that? Okay, let's do that motion. Where it's a left parry followed by right. Left, right, left, right. Okay? Just continue, flow of motion, just keep doing it. Flow of motion, flow of motion. Okay, now reverse the motion. Okay, you know now that if you have an answer with one motion going one way, that you can also develop an answer of the other motion going the other way. Now this thing, if a punch came and I did this, but now supposing I was up here, see, and I did that, the reverse motion. Could I not do that in reverse rather than this? Reverse the motion and still use it? Yeah, you can. So each and every move that you guys begin to learn, learn if you can, because it doesn't work on all circumstances, how to apply the reverse motion to work for you. Not only depend on the opposites. Okay? Thank you. It's simple enough, right? Now, you have a chalkboard?
No, we don't. I don't think so. Let me...
Now you better refund these guys.
No, we don't. We don't have them.
You don't. You have something I can write on here?
Check something out. Did you get like
Lipstick?
something to write on?
Fine.
Magic mark.
I can use it, we can wipe it out later. Yeah, I think with lipstick, it'll give me an excuse to... My wife says I hard got the lipstick on her. There I was in front of the group, and I got all yours with this. Maybe not, I don't know.
Maybe he's kidding. Sharon, you know?
Yes, yes.
Go.
Oh,
No.
yeah, that's good. Can I read this? Okay. Can I?
Sure. I don't have to clean it.
We'll find out.
Oops. Okay, what's that? How many of you have heard of this? Huh? What is that? Huh? A what? Hey, buddy, don't show that back there. What is that?
The beginning of the universal touch.
Okay. Hey, very good. You there. That's fine. But let's break it down, okay? In terms of mathematics, what is that? Oh, so it was a minus sign. When I do this with it, what I have? Plus sign. Yeah, there's my plus, right? And what is that? Multiplication sign. So it's a combination of a plus and a multiplication sign. And in actuality, if I add this plus over and I kick it down on its side, what does it become? Multiplication sign. A multiplication sign is no more than a plus sign falling on its side. Okay? Well, that's what I want you guys to start looking at it, because some of us keep looking at things as though they're separate entities. They're all around the same. It's just that we're looking at it from a different point of view. And that's exactly what I want to show you guys today. Okay, now, we talk about these as being the 8 what? Angles of what? Attack or defense. Correct? Or defense. But there's so many ways to look at this, it's unbelievable. Now, some of you have seen this, but you look at it, it's in there. It's in the patch, all of those. Okay? But as you look at this, think in terms of not being straight lines, but circular lines. all of these being circular looked at from one direction. You understand me? You have a circle that's this way. So think of the circle coming out here, circle coming out here like this. Okay? Now, whenever we do movements on the 8 general directions, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and 8. Okay? And then whenever we go pretty much on these, this is what I call orbital changes. Okay? These are orbital changes. Okay? But an orbital adjustment is the in-between. I'll explain. Some of you guys are trying to look at this as being very difficult, but it isn't. It's damn simple, that's the point I'm trying to make you. Okay, now. Got it? Now, supposing Bob Liles comes and he uses a diagonal orbit to break my nose. Okay? Okay? Now what's the reverse of this? So he can break my nose coming in and he can follow that and break my nose going out, right? Now, supposing he came, which actually, if we look at it this way, you notice Bob is following this diagonal when he's hitting me. Right? Now you gotta look at this as a circle now. Don't look at it as a straight line. Think of this being looked and viewed, but it's a circle. Okay, now here he is, he's following me on 2, going down to what? 6. Okay, but now supposing, as he went from this orbit, he met resistance, then decided to switch and come in to orbit that's on 3 to 7. You understand me? Now what have we done? We went from this diagonal orbit to a horizontal orbit. Then as he turns the other way, or hits down this way, what kind of a circle is this? In terms of an orbit. It's a vertical orbit. One is diagonal, the other is horizontal, and the other is what? Vertical. Correct? So anytime we go from one major direction, I call that an orbital change. When he goes from this major direction and switches to the horizontal major, that's an orbital change because you're staying within the framework of your major directions. Am I clear to everybody so far? Alright, now, supposing Bob Liles wished to reverse his motion, okay, which is again what? What kind of a circle is this? A reverse diagonal, right? But supposing now, instead of going from an orbital to an orbital, in other words, from one orbit to another major orbit, in the reverse order, it'd be pretty difficult. In other words, he can come from this angle because of the structure of his body and immediately and comfortably go to a horizontal. But if he was to reverse it, it's hard to come back to a horizontal with your arm being there. You understand me? So in some cases, because of the structure of our body, it's a no-no. So that's when you alter and go and make an orbital adjustment, because adjustment is any orbit that you take in between your majors. Okay? Oh, but I'm trying not to confuse you. Okay? Now, so how can he make an orbital adjustment whereby an orbital change with this figure here? By simply taking this orbit and slightly altering, taking a little different orbit so that it gets the job. And that's an orbital adjustment where you're staying in between your majors. Does this make sense? Yes.
Would orbital adjustments be usually transitionary motions between orbital changes? In other words, would you find typically, not naturally, not always, but typically that between a major orbital change, there would be an orbital adjustment?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You certainly find. I only wish sometimes I had a proper tools, like hula hoops, stuff like that to show you what I'm trying to do, because it's really interesting, because when we start talking about weapons and stuff, I'll show you how these circles and stuff work again. Okay? Are we kind of clear on this now? All right. What's the difference between opposites and reverse?
The opposite is on the other side, and the reverse is going back.
The same motion going in the reverse, okay? Now, what have we just said about both?
That if you're using the combination,
That's right, where one complements the other. Okay? That's good. And when you do that, what does it bring about? Sophistication of motion. Okay? And what is sophistication? No more than simplicity, compounded. Right? What's that, what does Julie used to sing? Extra... See, my Hawaiian culture. Right. That's a tongue twister, right? But all it is what? No more than a compilation of syllables, one right after the other. I had a long talk with her because her husband was a student. When I was doing one of the Pink Panther movies in Europe, she was shocked as I started to talk about different things. And the question I asked her was, how is it that she could say such words so rapidly and yet still have diction? She said training. She started to describe what she had to go through in her learning process to get that good. And then I started to parallel, that's exactly what basically we do. And she was amazed at the parallels between her training and what we're doing, all of their different fields. Okay? All right, so that's it. So if you guys can start doing this. Now this will be in volume 4, everything I've done. In fact, even more so, because oftentimes, if we put a circle like this, with these like this, the minute you move back and you do something, then this whole circle drops down a notch. You know what I mean? So now you have adjustments in depth. You understand me? Yeah. Because in time you will learn that when you're working with double knives, you can go almost to the side with your left hand, but it's hard to come here with this. See? You know what I'm saying? Now, if you want to come further with this, then you drop back and moving this slightly over and altering the midpoint. Yes.
Okay, like I tell my students and myself, I visualize this thing as a molecule. You know what I mean?
Exactly
As a
right.
three-dimensional figure. The square on the inside, if you make three-dimensional,
Now let's talk about the square.
okay, is it a cube or is it like a tetrahedron or a polyhedron or whatever?
I'm glad you asked, brother. I'm going to tell you what it is. Hey, okay. Now, if we do this, and then make a square of this, right? What have we got? We got two oblong squares. But if we had a square, and we did this to it, what have we got? Two triangles. So now, if we get this square and tilt it, like this, what have we got? A diamond, that's right. If you tilt the square, we got a diamond. Okay, now, I want you to realize that when I did this, it didn't mean that you follow the path, necessarily the path of the line, but the area within the lines. Okay, left punch to the hip. What is this? Now say it's a piece of chalk. Okay, all of this is a chalk.